Hello, my name is Joy Lambert, and I am the Sociology Librarian at Pollock Library. This video will be an introduction to the database called Sociological Abstracts. When starting any kind of sociological research, I'd recommend you go to this database first. To get to the database, first go to the library's homepage. You can do this by visiting library.fullerton.edu or logging into the student portal and then clicking on Library under More Apps in the left margin. If you go to the library's homepage first and not the student portal, you will have to proxy in when you try to access the databases. Just use your portal login and you should be taken to the database. From the library's homepage, click on the Databases icon. From there, scroll down to Sociology under Databases by Subject, and when you click on that, you will see Sociological Abstracts is the first database listed. You can also use the alphabetical list on the right, click on the S, and scroll down until you see Sociological Abstracts. Once you get into the database, you will see the two search boxes and then some very general search options or limiters towards the bottom. These are available to you after your search as well. One I would like to point out is the one for peer-reviewed articles. You can just check this box. Sometimes your professors will require you to use peer-reviewed articles for your research. Most library databases have a box that you can check to help you with that. So let's say I was working on a research paper that wanted to answer the question, what effect does homeschooling have on the socialization of children? From that, I would distill down the keywords or search terms that I wanted to put into the database. Research databases are not like Google. You can't type in a question. It will confuse the database. So you need to pick out the keywords that you can use to search. For this topic, the keywords are pretty straightforward. I will put homeschooling in the first box, and socialization in the second. Since I'm looking for homeschooling, I will assume that the articles will be about children, since adults aren't usually in homeschooling. Depending on what topic you are researching, I'd encourage you to think of other similar words or synonyms you can use to describe the concepts you're researching. Sometimes the keywords we first think of don't always work as well in the databases as we hope, and we have to retool the search a bit. I like to keep each concept in its own box. That way, if I have to modify the search using different keywords, everything stays organized. Then I'll click Search. So here is my initial list of results. This is a pretty manageable list, but sometimes the database will bring back a lot of results, so that is when you can take advantage of some of the tools in the left margin to refine your list a bit. First, I'll narrow to peer-reviewed articles. You'll see that there is also an option for scholarly journal articles. Oftentimes the terms scholarly journal article and peer-reviewed article are used interchangeably, but they are two different things. I think it is safe to assume that peer-reviewed articles are also scholarly, but not all scholarly articles are peer-reviewed. So if you want to make sure you're finding those peer-reviewed articles, check that box. Next, I want to find articles that were published fairly recently, so I'm going to use the publication date limiter to find articles published within the last 10 years. Depending on your results, you may have to first narrow by decade and then by year. My results are fairly recent, so I'll just use the slider to narrow to articles written from 2010 and beyond. That 2018 tells me that the most recent articles in this list were published in 2018. Next, I'm going to take a look at the subject limiter where I can narrow by subject headings. Each article in the database has subject headings assigned to it to describe what it's about and to help us focus our results by using this limiter. When I click to open the menu and then click More, this box appears. Sociological Abstracts is a little different than most databases. We are given the option to include or exclude subject headings. I am going to select the ones I think will be most helpful and check the boxes in the Include column and then click Apply. Now the database will narrow my results to those articles that are actually about those subjects rather than just having those keywords in the title or description of the article. Another limiter I would like to point out is the location limiter. Depending on what you are researching, your professor may want you to focus on US populations. Again, you can click to open that menu, and then click More, and then include or exclude the options as they appear. Sometimes, as in this example, you will also see certain states or even certain cities listed. Since most of these choices are in the US, I will just exclude the ones that are not. Looking through the list, if I click on the title of any of the articles, it should take me to what is called the record for the article. The record contains all of the descriptive information about the article, including what is needed to build a citation, as well as the abstract for the article, which is just a brief summary. You'll also see the subject headings assigned to the article, which can be helpful to give you ideas about other terms you can use to search for articles on your topic. If I read the abstract and decide I want to read the full text of the article for my research, then I'm going to look for how I can access the full text. One very important thing to know about sociological abstracts is, just as the name implies, most of what you will find in this database will be the abstracts of articles. Sometimes you will find the full text, but for the most part you are going to find the citation and the abstract. So if you want to find the full text, click on the Find It at Pollock Library button. Clicking on Find It at Pollock Library will prompt Sociological Abstracts to check with the other library databases. If the full text is in any of those, there will be a link to it. And if you click on it, you should be taken to the full text in the other database. If the full text is not available in any library databases, you'll see a screen like this where you can click Sign in for more options, use your portal login, and then a link to request this article through interlibrary loan using ILLiad will appear. Interlibrary loan is the sharing of books and articles between libraries. You can make a request for your article, and a library that owns the full text will scan and email you a PDF of the article. If you've never used ILLiad before, you can quickly set up an account. If you have used ILLiad, you'll just need to log in with your portal login, and from there you will be able to easily request your article. It will take some time to get the articles though, possibly as long as a week, so start your research early so that you will have time to get any articles you might have to request. If the full text is available in sociological abstracts, and you will see this from time to time, you will see it in the results list, and then you can click on the title of the article or the link to get to the full text. From there, you can email or download the article. You can also click on All Options to save to the cloud. Another feature I'd like to point out is the related items in the right margin. These are articles related to the article you are looking at. This is a great way to find other similar articles that might not have come up in your search. There is a caveat though. Any limiters that you have applied, like peer-reviewed or range of date of publication, might not be applied here. So just double check to make sure that these articles meet your search criteria if you end up using them. Sociological Abstracts also has a citation tool, and you'll see it in the top right of the screen. When you click on that, an example of how to cite the article will appear, and you can use the drop-down menu to find and select ASA. The most recent version in the database is the 5th edition, and the most recent version of the style manual is the 6th. So use this as a starting point and then consult your ASA manual or other citation resource and make the necessary changes. And there you have an overview of sociological abstracts, a great resource for sociology majors. Happy researching! If you go to the library's homepage first and not the student portal, you will have to proxy in when you try to access the databases.